Hello everyone, this is Yogesh from Shiva Venkateswara College of Engineering, Electronics and Communication Department. Now I am going to explain about the topic the Init method from the subject Python programming. Introduction. In object-oriented programming, the init method is a special method in Python used to initialize a newly created object. It is often referred to as constructor, and this is automatic. It is called automatically when a new instance of class is created. The primary purpose of the init method is to set the initial state of the object by assigning values to its instance variables. To allow It allows for custom initialization logic such as setting defaults, values, validating inputs, or establishing initial states. The method is defined using def keyword by init and is always method defined within a class. Purpose of init method: initialization of object state. The primary purpose of the init method is to initialize the newly created object state. It sets the initial values of all the object instance variables, ensuring that object start is in a known and valid state. Customize initialization logic. The init method allows for custom logic to be executed during the object's creation. This can include setting default values, performing calculations, or setting up necessary resources. Parameter passing. The init method can take parameters, allowing for flexible and dynamic object creation. These parameters can be used to pass initial values or configure to the object, enabling it to be tailored specific needs at the time of creation. Validation and error checking. The init method can include validation logic to ensure that an object is created with valid and consistent. If invalid data is provided, the init method can raise expectations, preventing the creation of improperly configured objects. Syntax of the init method: class name, diff init self parameters, initialization code self attribute equals to value. Breakdown of the syntax: class definition, class name defines a new class named class name. Method definition: diff init self parameters defines the init method with special negations in it. Example: here is a simple example of class with an init method. Class person, def init self name age, self dot name equals to name, initialize self dot age is equals to age. Creating an instance of the person1 equals to person alias 30, assessing instance variable print person1 output alias prints person1 age output 30. Initialization of the init define parameters. Decide the parameters self-included that init method will accept. These parameters represent the initial state of configure of the object. Example: my class. If init self para1 para2, initialize instance variable self para1 para2. Assign values. Use the self keyword to assign the values instant variables and within the init method. These variables store data unique to each instance of the class person. Def init self name age, self name and self age equals to age. Benefits of init method: the init method helps ensure that objects are properly initialized before they are used and they are used in the program. It promotes code's reusability by encapsulating initialization logic within the class definition. Using the init method makes the code more readable and maintainable by clearly defining the object's state. Common pitfalls of the init methods: overcomplicating the init methods with unnecessary logic can lead to code that is difficult to maintain. Not properly initializing all attributes in init method can result in unexpected behavior when using the object. Failing to call the init method of the parent class in a subclass may lead to incomplete initialization of the project. Debugging the init method. If objects are not initialized correctly, check for errors in the init methods such as typos or missing arguments. Use print statements or debugger to inspect the values of attributes during object creation to identify any issues. Review the order of attribute initialization in the init method to ensure that dependencies are handled properly. Conclusion: the init method is a fundamental part of Python class that is used for object initialization. By defining the init method, you can set up the initial state of object and ensure they are ready for use. Understanding how to properly use and leverage the init method is essential for writing clean and effective object oriented Python code. Thank you everyone. Please watch and like and subscribe my channel.